All right, going to be doing some mock drafts here. Big thing here is that the last few days, a few roster updates. Seems like Slater and Ferentz are retiring, and it also looks like Guy and Phillips are being released. And there's also a few other guys that are probably going to be in that same boat. We also don't know what's going on with Mac with the fifth-year option. Are we going to trade him? What are we going to do? That's a concern. We also don't know what's going on with free agency, both in terms of internal or external free agents. They did bump up the salary cap to $250 million, so there might be some wiggle room in there for us to really bring back a few of our core guys that are Patriots, and also allow us to maybe go out and get one or two free agents that could be, kind of coming in, at least injecting some momentum and hype into the team, signaling a change, which I'm sure that's, although not really a football thing, is more of a, business marketing thing, but it might be a good thing for fans too, right? Some new blood, new thing, changing things up. So, but that being said, every day I think this draft becomes more and more critical to either, well, let's just say this in general. You have to extract value from this draft in some way. And what I mean by that is you either have to get probably 3 or 4 guys to be solid 53-man contributors right off the bat with some depth pieces, and also pick up some quality UDFA for the practice squad, and maybe even possibly coming in on the 53, right? Or we have to find ways to extract as much value and roll it over to next year, meaning people are going to pay up and give us next year's draft capital for this year, multiple or even several years down the road. I'm up for that because to me, I think we're in that. We delayed roster capitulation 2 years ago, 3 years ago, really, and now we're sitting here essentially with fading prospects that are overpaid, fading players that are overpaid, which we understand. That's part of the situation. That's part of the league, and then too many developmental guys that really can't be trusted to be 53-man roster starters. So we're in between right now. So we need some help. This draft, thankfully, is loaded. I don't understand why people even hint at this not being a loaded draft. It is several years worth of other draft classes converging on this one. In fact, it has forced some quality guys that could have been first-year eligible to return because they're not going to be first-round draft picks. They're being projected as third-round or possibly day 3 picks. That just shows you how deep this draft class is. And it's pretty comprehensive. It's not, obviously like last year, corners and tight ends were the thing. There's still some good corners and there's some really good tight ends, but it's not as deep. But thankfully, I'll say this again, what the Patriots critically need to start getting out of the draft, which are offensive tackles and wide receivers, are deep. It's a deep class for both. And quarterback is not incredibly deep, but at the top end, I can't remember seeing this many guys that I would say most years would probably undeniably be the first overall pick. And that's not considering any other guys in terms of wide receivers or tackles or even edge players that could be close to being first-round draft picks. It's a loaded draft, guys. So let's take a look. Stop delaying. Get to the show. Randomness. Okay. So the first time through, I'm not going to do any trades. Second time through, I'm going to probably do one alternative way, maybe do that for the third draft too. And the last one I'll do is to optimize. Basically try to extract as much value, and it'll be overdone. It'll be way too much, but it's at least going to illustrate what you can do at certain times of the draft. Opportunities. Wow. I didn't think they'd change things up, but they did. They had... Where was Daniels? They had him at like 10, 11, 12, right? Oh, they have him at 22 now. Who'd they move up? Jackson Powers is up higher. Byron Murphy's up a lot. Oh, I know what they're doing. All right, so PFF is front running the draft. So they have either probably from the Senior Bowl, and then maybe some leaks from these guys training, what centers they're working out of, who they're coaching with, who they're being coached by, trainers, sports performance guys are maybe leaking out these guys getting certain numbers. Yeah, like Peyton Wilson. So what they're doing is they're giving these guys, there's certain names in here that are being moved up in terms of their grading, because we all know, like Marvin Harrison, Malik, Brock, Joe Alt will probably test out decent, but these three guys are going to test out amazing. Cooper, Dunze, I'm not sure about Nate Wiggins, Olu Fashanu. I mean, you're looking at studs out of the top 10 that are still here. Almost all these guys are going to be freakish level testing. Byron Murphy's going to be amazing. Quinion Mitchell's going to be probably a 4.3s with a 40-inch vert, low 4s on his 20-yard shuttle. Broad's probably going to be like 10-foot something. Dallas Turner's going to test out. Verse is going to be crazy. Jackson Powers Johnson's now ranked 17th overall. The guy's probably going to bang out 35 reps on the bench. And although he's strong, like strong dude, he's going to get that crazy number because his arms are 31 inches and his chest's probably like 55 inches. So he's probably got like a 2-inch, 3-inch range of motion for his bench. Guy's going to bang him out easy. Latu's going to... all these guys are testing out great. Now, why is Daniels dropping? My assumption is that this is not this. I see him at 6'3", 6'4", but this is not... He did not go to the Senior Bowl. He backed out of it. I think this is the situation. I think I think they know that he's not coming in at that weight. Maybe that height, but not that weight. You know why? Because look, I'll say this. I said this in a previous video. Brian Thompson Jr. is like the same size, right? Listed as the same size. Actually, he's even lighter listed. Go look at a picture or a video where these two guys are standing next to each other and tell me that Brian Thompson Jr. is lighter than Jayden Daniels. I think Brian Thompson might have 20 pounds on Jayden Daniels. Yeah. Height-wise, they're about the same. I'd still give Brian Thomas maybe an edge there, but Brian Thompson's a bigger dude. Or Thomas is a bigger dude. Troy Franklin's getting a boost here. He's going to run the 4.3s. Graham Barton's going to be athletic. Same thing with Troy. He's going to move for his size. Mims is going to be okay. McConkey's going to probably have amazing 20-yard and 3-cone. Not sure about his... Yeah, like J.J. McCarthy's now a first-rounder. Now I think he will be a first-rounder just because of, he's a QB. He's a junior. He does have a decent athletic profile, which I'm sure his testing's going to show. So that's why he's moving up here. Guyton's solid. Newbin's going to be probably coming in weight and size-wise. Going to be really impressive. Going to probably have good 40 and solid vert. Peyton Wilson's going to be probably your top freaks in the whole draft. Dude's going to run faster than most wide receivers. And his shuttles, everything. His 3-cone, if he does it, it's going to look amazing. And on field, he's going to bend. The guy's lacrosse background makes his ankle flexibility elite. His ability to bend edges, if he does any sort of pass rush drills, is going to make turn heads. So they're gonna get him up. And his athletic profile is awesome, and also his dimensions. Like, he's a big dude too, although not heavy, but it's just gonna show you that you have a freak athlete there. Maybe he's looking better. He had an injury, so I was thinking he would be a second rounder, but it's nice to see that he's in there. Braswell's gonna be amazing. Bo Nix is not gonna test out incredible, but not bad. Mitchell's gonna be fast. TJ Tampa's getting a boost here. Big dude, he's like 6'2", like 2-0 something, I think. Hard hitter. He's going to show up. Keon Coleman's going to test out great. Morgan, maybe. Not sure. Jatavian Sanders looks like a super athlete, too. Adisa Isaac's very quick. Chop Robinson's a freak. Darius Robinson's a freak. Kingsley, like I said in many videos, I'm sure by the time he gets done with the combine, he's going to be a fringe first rounder. And keep in mind, he plays both the left and right side. He's going to be a valuable dude. Plus, he's only, this is his first year eligible, so he's a junior. So he's a younger dude. So you play him at the right for maybe a couple years and then maybe move him to the left. Penix is dropping again, probably because it's not going to look too great for him. He'll look great on his field drills, but he might do the worst thing, which he might be the best thing for him, but it's going to hurt his draft stock, but maybe not as bad as actually testing. So he's also going to probably come in pretty light. He's a very small, thin frame dude, very tight, narrow hips. Maybe not. Maybe not. And that's the thing. If he doesn't test out, everybody's gonna raise flags because it's like, well, what's your agility like? I mean, his straight line speed's not bad, but what's your 20-yard? What's your 3-cone? What are your vert and your broad gonna look like? If you're just going there to basically just do warm-ups with your field drills, whatever, that's gonna make you drop. Worthy's being moved up because he's going to run probably in the 4.2s. Wilson's going to be maybe high 4.3s, low 4.4s. But he's moving up. He's a freak. Ellis is solid. Since he keeps climbing up, he's going to test out great, probably in the low 4.4s, maybe in 4.3s. Hicks is going to test out in the 4.4s at 200-something pounds, so he's coming out of the 100s. Same thing with Kyrie. He's a 4.3 guy. Chris Jenkins is going to be probably, like I said, Kalijah Cansey last year. Brooks is a speedster. Kalen Bullock's a freak athlete. Pearsall runs probably like a 4.4. Kieran and Megagaji dropping down because maybe he's not looking like he's going to test out great. I don't think he's a physical freak athlete. I think he's a great tackle technically and he has the build. But he was they had him in like the 30s or 40s before, but now he's dropping because these guys are moving up. It's nothing against him. It's just that PFF is starting to move guys up like Jalen McMillan, who's probably going to run the 4.3s, and moving guys like Christian Hayes down because they're going to test all right, but not freakish. Braylon Trice, awesome edge guy. This guy could be a first rounder technically, and especially his stats support that. But I don't see him being any sort of physical attribute that's going to be able to showcase him. It's going to be showcased this week. Rook's coming up because he's going to test out like a machine. Tez Walker, probably going to do good straight line, but I don't think his deceleration is really that great. So when your decel is pretty weak, I don't think he's going to have a great 20-yard and 3-cone. Blake Fisher getting a huge bump because he's going to test out like a monster. Johnny Wilson will be good. Not sure why Legette's 20. You know what? Legette's agility might be an issue. His straight line speed's amazing, but you're weighing like 220 something pounds. You're not going to be able to stop on a dime. So maybe you're straight ahead, you're fine. Maybe with your vert, you're good. Broad will be good. But then if you start throwing in the agility and his on-field drills might not help him out. Thrash is quick. Bryce is good. So Booker's a fast edge player. He'll test out great. Same thing with Gabriel Murphy, Corley, Dorless. Jalen Wright's getting a bump because he's a speedster. If you could get Kinchins at 80, you gotta. Fisk is getting a bump because he's another guy with really short arms, really powerful. Very similar to Jackson Powers Johnson. He'll probably bang out 30 in the bench. Patrick Paul's dropping. He probably won't test out really great. A little sluggish, big feet, heavy feet, big heavy hands, which helps you out in terms of actual like grounding yourself and protecting the backside. But you're not gonna have a great 40, and you're probably gonna struggle in some of your agility drills. You might not look as fast as other guys in terms of your on-field drills. Corum's going to be a beast. He'll probably run low 4s, maybe even a 4.3. His 10-yard might be like 1.4, 4.8 or something like that. Nealon's going to test like a beast. McCormick is another guy that's going to test out great. Cam Hart's going to be a freak. Solomon's a speedster for his size too. Vaki's another freak as well. He'll probably have a good vert and also a good agility. Irving's a speedster. Yeah, so this is all guys. Notice how like these guys are coming up out of the day 3 or late third round. They're all getting like moved up, right? And there's also notable amount of guys who are bleeding down. Like Leonard Taylor. Some people think he's a fringe first rounder. He's now at 109 in there. He's also considered great. A guy to keep an eye on. Cole Bishop's coming up. Kamara's moved back up. Allen's moved back up because He's going to test out. He's going to test out. He'll test out probably pretty great. I know Bishop is going to be better than expected. Baker's going to be a good one. These are all... Shipley moved up. Johnson moved up. Sinnett's way up. Malik John... Yeah, so he's down. But maybe... You know what? His knee might not... His testing might be down still. Because his knee... That knee, I think, really messed with him. Yeah, it just seems like all the athletes are kind of being pushed up this week. Because nothing's happened between the Senior Bowl, right? With these guys especially. I mean, yeah, there's the HBCU guys that just tested out, but there's nothing really happened with most of the guys that are in the PFF's mock draft simulator. So this is just them kind of front-running it, getting it out there early. Why is Marcus Harrison here? Did he actually come out? What? I mean, yeah. I wouldn't nearly put him at 190. I mean, that's kind of a... I mean, nothing against him, and I don't think Brew McCoy is still coming. Maybe I have to go double-check. I'm pretty sure he's coming back. I don't know. They're at... Oh, yeah. So that's another thing. You can tell this is because they've added guys that haven't been... AJ Woods I really like. Actually, I think he got snubbed from... Yeah, he got snubbed. He should have been at the Combine. But these guys are going... Dankwa and Hansen are now going. And now that's why they're in. These guys haven't done anything... I mean, they both went to... did Hansen go to the senior? I know Dankwa was at the Shrine Bowl. Sorry that I haven't done anything yet, but this is also something to point out. Yeah, he's there. So there's a bunch of guys that are going to the... Yep. That have not been in here that are now going to the... I guess that's good, though. So you guys can take a look at them, and they don't have to do too much of a scramble after the Combine. Because that's when really mock draft season gets big, right? Because now we know what they're going to be, what their profiles. I can finally do a solid big board. Really put the final pieces of the equation in. Obviously, we still have a bunch of pro days, but those start like, I think, Monday. Yeah, it's like the next day. Yeah, the next day there's pro days already happening right after the Combine. So we have that for a couple weeks, and then basically, actually it's like a month, but. And it's like, that's Combine. I mean, that's the draft. So things are heating up. Anyway, let's get into it. So I'm still going to go quarterback, which is going to probably kill my grade for PFF, but who really gives? Let's just see what works. That's notable, which might be, something to consider. Morgan, if he's actually still there in the second, I wouldn't mind him, and then if I would assume that means Suatamatia there. Okay. Now the thing would be, do we go Suatamatia because he can play left and right, which would give us some flexibility to pick up the one that you need later on, or do we go with a solid left tackle? Now if you're bringing back Onwenu, and then bring in somebody else, maybe you go with Jordan Morgan, so let's try that. I like Suatamatia as a better prospect, but maybe I'm just going through... I guess, oh yeah, gotta go with Brendan Rice with obvious scenarios here. Low risk, right? Now he plays left and guard, right? So he's got left tackle and left guard and a little bit of center. He did show he can play some decent center actually at the Senior Bowl, but I need to get a right tackle, which would be Christian Jones, which I wouldn't mind Christian Jones. My next right tackle, we can go BB. Now, BB is a guard right now, but he's played left and right. So it would be, if you get Onwenu back, having him and Onwenu there would work. Also, if you don't bring on one new back. You get BB to come in. He can play. Like, he can play left and right tackle and guard. He's played... The only thing he hasn't done is played center. Risky? Maybe. But he's also a good football player. It's not just the fact that he fits the position. All right, let's actually take some time and look at the tackles real quick, where we're at, what we have left. Christian Jones, probably the better option here right away. If I can get Rosengarten, though, at 182, that's a good right tackle. Foster... Caden Wallace is also a good pick at... Oh, I wouldn't get him at 229, though. I can probably get Israel at 229. But that would be, again... once he tests out, he won't be at 255. All right, so what's probably the most... edge is also a concern, right? So we're at round 4. Edge, running back, tight end. Don't have enough picks, guys. This is what I was talking about with getting rid of just unloading those guys at the trade deadline. If you can even get me like a fourth rounder for some of these guys, we could. Now we're kind of stuck. And we need to get a D tackle. I mean, if you're going to ask me who's the best player right here, it's definitely Leonard Taylor. And the thing is, we don't need... Well, we got rid of Guy. But then also at the same time, like, Barmore is up next year, and so is Godchow. I mean, maybe we bring both of them back, but also Quali's up too. So this one, if he's really there, that's not a joke. Like, that's somebody you might want to consider getting. But right now we also can have to worry about safeties, another safety. How's that looking? Bo, Malik Mustafa. Get him? No, I'm not gonna have... I can take Oladapo at 7th round, but then there's or actually never mind. Well, like either Tyler Owens or Oladapo. Oladapo, I think, is probably a better safety. I would like to get James Williams, but I'm not gonna have the shot at him. We have a shot at Cole Bishop right now. I think Cole Bishop, as out of all these guys, is probably... Well, Tyke's probably a little bit better of a center fielder. Cole Bishop's a little bit more of a comprehensive safety. Not huge on this guy. He's okay. I don't know. Maybe I have to watch him a lot more. I'd like to get Bucky Irvin. That's a good... I mean, a lot of these sitting here with loaded guys that we know are not going to be there. So out of the 4 remaining, we got to get maybe a running back here at 182 or 229. We got to get an edge. We have to get at least one edge player here. Preferably upright edge. Cole Bishop. Christian Boyd would be a great pickup. I mean, they have him at 129. I don't mind that. I think he probably won't go there. I think he'll go a little bit lower. But maybe Mason Smith, if he's still there. Still need to probably pick up. Yikes. All right, so let's just be smart and... go here. Gonna miss out on Lauby. Yep. There's Jayden Harrell. He's basically Uche 2.0, so there's the edge at least. So we have safety. We've got the tight end. So that gives us back to the tackle at the end here. He's played right guard his whole. He wouldn't be a bad one to pick up. He's a big dude too. He's your developmental right tackle. Don't know what that mean. I kind of liked it. Not as much. I mean, I mean, this. Maybe we can pick up a D tackle. Yikes. All right, let's blast through another one real quick. This one will be quicker. McCarthy, Patrick Paul. So Marvin Harrison Jr., McCarthy, Patrick Paul, good so far. I still coming down to this. What do we do next? Guess we can go this route. Still gotta go. Yeah, probably still gonna look at Sinnott here. Can play in line. You can play out of the backfield. There's our right tackle. Younger dude, still kind of developmental, but he's quick, he's fast, he's athletic. Probably just needs to be chained to a squat rack for a bit. Add some weight in the lower extremities. So we still need a safety. Oh yeah, would go. I have to look at Hampton. He's a bigger dude, I believe, but out of all the guys that are left, I still like Oladapo, wherever he may be. Where'd we miss out? Edge. Just not enough. We just don't have enough. Maybe I could have picked an edge player, maybe Miles Cole in the 7th round. There's a lot of things I could have done there. I doubt this is not fair, honestly, because I think JJ McCarthy's probably not going to make it out of the top 15, probably. But if he's still there, yeah. That's if we do go the Marvin Harrison Jr. route. Or, obviously there's the other question, which is, can we trade back? Which is something we need to consider. I know everybody's anti-trading back because Bill Belichick did it. Yeah, well, Bill Belichick maintained a great roster. It wasn't star-studded, but if you did on average, an average roster, if you took the best and the worst and everybody in between, you averaged them out, Bill Belichick had a solid roster throughout. And he didn't get into everybody's like, well, you can manipulate the salary cap. Well, now they allow you to because it doesn't matter. It makes the business better. But for a long time, the salary cap meant something because there was a huge difference between your top owners spending money and your bottom owners not. Now with the CBA and just how everything's made out and how the rules, yeah, there are still some bad spenders, but what's interesting is that the worst spenders are some of your best teams. And we were that for a very long time. So, point being is that theory or way of handling your business actually does work. Because you get consistent if your coach is good and your quarterback's good. Right? Now we can't afford that. But trading back when you have a lot of value, because people are going to want this dude. People are going to want, where is he? Oh, he's down here again. People are going to want Daniels. People are going to want Marvin Harrison Jr., even Malik Neighbors. So I think we could, if people, people are going to ask for us to move. Now, I don't think a lot of these guys are going to be looking to move up, which is a concern, because if we want to say, oh, we'll move back a few spots, but these guys might not want to give you a whole bunch to move up a couple spots, right? I can definitely see the Chargers taking Brock Bowers or Malik Neighbors, right? Just about anybody, right? They can handle, they can use just about anybody. Now, they might have an idea that they want somebody specific. I think they are really a tight end away from being a really good offense. So I think the Brock Bowers going to the Chargers makes sense. These guys are probably, just going to roll off whatever happens here. Because if we don't take, they want Marvin Harrison Jr., we take Marvin Harrison, or whoever we trade with takes Marvin Harrison Jr., they're just going to take Joe Alt. Or maybe not. Actually, they don't need, they have Paris Johnson Jr., so they would go what? Fuaga, maybe? Fuaga's a great right tackle. And J.C. Latham, I think, is arguably top 5 players in this whole draft, especially once he tests out. I mean, they could use DeJean, too. Cooper DeJean's probably one of your best. Yeah, he's probably a top 5 guy, too, in many ways. And you're saying, well, how is that possible? Because I don't think Caleb Williams and Drake May are better, really, than Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik or Brock or Alt or Cooper DeJean or Redunze or Fashanu are at their respective positions. I think these guys are better at what they do than these guys are what they do. Hard to believe that, but it's just because the perception that everything in the offense goes through these guys. So success comes, these guys get promoted by success. Whereas, yeah, these guys do, but not so much here. Tight ends, Joe Alt, Cooper DeJean. This guy does everything for the Georgia offense, and he, most people don't even think of him. Like, people are, he'll probably be not even the top 10. I don't know. That might be possible. That might be possible, but the guy does everything, and his athletic profile is as good as many wide receivers in this draft. Plus, he can block and he can carry the ball too. He takes handoffs out of the backfield as a fullback. He does everything. So what can we do? If someone's willing to give us a decent amount, right? Which, again, I'm sure these guys won't do that much. I wouldn't mind that, because we need more picks than we do getting a specific guy. Now you're gonna sit here, well, why don't we just take a quarterback? Trust me, I'm all about, if the quarterback is what they want and it fits the system that they are mapping out right now and trying to construct, go for it. 100% go for it, because the quarterback is the only position that you can really draft. I don't want to say only, but has the biggest impact under their rookie contract. Meaning that they're most likely, if they're good, they will turn your team around. Right? Also, it's a position you want to have on a rookie contract. And also, if they are good, they're going to have a positive impact on the team overall, like performance-wise. And if you do have a chance of getting somewhere, you want to have, essentially, if you want to look at the trends, the teams that are consistently in the playoffs or are competing for the Super Bowl, most of the time, those teams have guys that were quarterbacks that were drafted and developed and under the rookie contract. So they either got there on the rookie contract or their second contract. Right? Meaning the team picked the guy that they liked and they started actually building the system around that guy. Or they picked the absolute right guy for their system and they were instantly good. So I say stay with it. If you think that is going to be Caleb, Drake, or Jayden, and you have a shot at one of those 3 guys, go for it. Because it won't cost you much, right? And you don't know. Maybe there's enough insight of what the Chicago and Washington are going to do, and you just have a solid conversation, sit down and say, yeah, if you guys are going after this, we would love to go after that guy. Maybe not necessarily make some sort of backdoor deal, but you know what I'm saying. Arrange how it's going to move. Anyway, but let's say they do want to get Marvin Harrison Jr., which they could get. let's just say. Would I move down 3 spots for that? Yeah. Sorry, 2 spots for that? Yeah. And then pick up a couple extra picks? I mean, I doubt they'll do this, but let's just see. Oh, they did. Now, what do we do? I don't know. Now, one could say, is this possible? Yeah. It's totally possible that I think Malik Neighbors is better at being a wide receiver than Jayden Daniels is as a quarterback. And both these guys don't need quarterbacks. So us moving down to 5 could allow us to actually do this. And it won't be crazy. Because again, I think there's a lot of risk that the guy is really probably coming in at 185, 190 pounds. Somewhere in there. Right? And then we can just kind of play off the same idea, which is we're gonna have 2 picks here. Would you be able to get one of these other top players here that could really help out your team? Now, which one would we go after? I mean, Newbin would definitely transform your secondary. Peyton Wilson would be operable all across your defense and would handle probably several different positions, at least bolster them. I don't think we can take a chance of not getting a tackle, though, right? Because even though there's only 2 spots in between, I don't want to miss a shot at Morgan. And then maybe we can... Chop Robinson would be a bad pickup. Darius Robinson, I'm obviously big on. Probably the bigger area need. Yeah. Well, I think we have to pass on Morgan or Peyton Wilson. Now, do we go Kingsley and call it a day with the tackle situation? You got left tackle and he can play right. At 68, what can we afford to get here? Wide receiver, yeah, still get after Brendan Rice. Go after Roman Wilson. I think he's legit, obviously. Seems like a good player. What are people willing to give me? Few spots, give me 70? No, I was going to say that's probably too much. I mean, Darius would be an edge player, but he would definitely be more of a Dietrich Wise understudy than, and also possible insurance for Barmore. Whereas Chop Robinson's going to be much more of your Uche replacement. $69. What can we get at 69? 68 and 69. All right, so we can go probably. What we could do is try to target Johnny Wilson and Brendan Rice. That would be that would be your tight end Gesicki replacement. That would be your wide receiver upgrade for the year. You get 2 guys there. I also wouldn't mind Malachi, of course. Question is where's the edge opportunity here? So somebody who took Johnny. Damn. All right, so we missed Johnny. That's okay. Not the end of the world. Because then I can just do... I'm going to take Brendan Rice. And then we can do... Gabriel Murphy's going to give you a decent amount of versatility. He can play just about anywhere. Good run stopper. Guy's a beast. 6'3", 260. Wouldn't say he's an easy replacement for Uche, but could be more of your Jennings replacement if needed. Actually, I just remember I probably should have after Kinchin's there. All right, so we got 104. That's giving us a little bit of... If he's really still available, I'm taking him. Question is, do I have to go with the Kamara or... I know I'm just gaming the system right now, but it's for you. I guess just showing you what we can do, guys. We can pick up at certain areas. Also, basically showing you that we could. This is not wasteful. We do really need this type of help, at least at this point, for what we know what the roster could be. Kind of just goes to show you how much we really do need. All right, so that's gonna... What do we need now? Probably help on the edge. If there's anybody who's speed edge that could help us out here. Tight end would also be in play. Trevin Wallace is edge is pretty good at the edge as well. Physically, you can do it. Safety, yeah. No, we already got it. Okay, never mind. Anybody else that we can think about getting here? 241 area. Wiley with this last pick, maybe. Oh, they put him in. Yeah, that's another guy that's going to be at the at the combine, so they decide to put him in. That's a speed guy, so we can just, you know what? Let's just, you know, although it's going to hurt. Let's go with Tip for the inline tight end. I don't know. How big is Tanner? Is he a big boy? 6'5", 240. Isk. Tip to me seems like a bigger, heavier, sturdier dude. And that would be arguably a Pharaoh Brown replacement. Oh, he's pretty good too. Man, they have him down way, way, way down. Oh, they have Easton Gibbs. Ooh, that's tempting. A hell of a coverage linebacker. Guy is a tackling machine. 6'2", 235. Guy does not suck at his job. Carson Steele this far down is absurd. I think I'm going to have to go with Okeanoma. The edge is better, I think, than advertised, because I think it's hard because last year there was just such like a great number of fairly decent, if not great, edge players, right? First rounders were pretty decent, and then the second rounders are looking pretty good. I mean, I'm okay with Keon White for what he's doing right now. Keep in mind, you know, this is to them that's probably I was gonna say to them it's probably a terrible draft, but getting Jayden Daniels, there's your quarterback, 2 tackles, wide receiver, edge. Hard setting. Plus, he can play just about anywhere, like I said. He can play all over the place. There's your, let's see, guy. Potentially Duggar / actually, we'll just say Adrian Phillips at the moment. So, replacement. If Zeke's gone, big, heavy back. If not great replacement for Hunter Henry, but a little bit more versatile. There's your offensive weapon that everybody loves, blocking tight end, and then your speed edge. There's some other guys down there, but I don't think he's going to be down in the 2. Well, you know, he might still be. But I wouldn't mind say we can't get him there, let's get him at I wouldn't mind getting him UDFA for sure. All right, so we'll end it there. I know it's a little bit of a mess, but to kind of go over everything, you can see what happens if we do trade back, assuming we get these 2 things, and maybe that. I mean, this is doubtful. I would assume it might be these 2. Just to move back 2 spots would be a lot. What did they pick up? Oh, so they went from no duh. Who did they go after? So maybe, yeah, that's the thing. Let's just say this. That actually might be what happens if they really do want Marvin Harrison Jr., because it's possible that you got, you know, teams. What's another, like, what happens if Tampa Bay wants to get Marvin Harrison Jr. and they're saying they're going to give us their 2024 plus 2025 and 2026 first round draft picks for him, right? We're going to say to the Chargers, like, well, I mean, we don't want to move back that far, but if we don't get what we want from you guys, it's hard to pass that up, right? Because then you're going to you would definitely go a cheap route and do the strong rebuild. I mean, what happens here kind of determines, do we do a strong rebuild because we're getting lots of first round draft picks and draft capital from this range for people who want this guy, right? Or this guy? Or basically any one of these guys. There's going to be teams. No one can say, I don't want Marvin Harrison Jr. on my team. It's just how much are you willing to pay for it? Or Malik Neighbors. Or Joe Alt. Or Dunze. Or Cooper DeJean. All these guys here are not wastes. You can find a spot for a Nate Wiggins. Or a Brock Bowers on. Or a Quinion Mitchell. All these guys. Now maybe Joe Alt and Olufushanu if you have an all-star left tackle. But here's the thing, guys. There has not been a really good left tackle or just tackle class in a long time. There's been 1 or 2 guys each year, but not a year when we're looking at 3-4 guys that are solid blue chip players. And then guys like Graham Barton, which probably last year would have been the 3rd best tackle. Guyton would have been probably the 3rd or 4th best tackle last year. Fuaga might be the first, better than all the tackles last year. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are being the 2nd round that last year would have been easily drafted in the 1st. So that's why I was always weirded out why Olufushanu decided to come back for one. I thought that guy last year probably could have been the 2nd or 3rd pick overall. But now he's behind Joe Alt because Joe Alt's your absolute prototypical left tackle. Anyway, I hope you guys, at least found this entertaining. Again, just kind of seeing how important this draft has to be. Also showing you that if we can get rid of several of our guys, right now that we could possibly get some 4th-round picks, 5th-round picks. You can get some fresh blood, some guys that, you know, could change how your offense or defense is being set up for the next few years. Possibility of maybe, I mean, Jayden Daniels might move down. It's possible that this is how things go. Because again, these teams need wide receivers. They don't really need, these guys don't need wide receiver or quarterbacks. They need wide receivers. So this is actually a viable trade if that does give us something like that. And you're going to hate the idea of taking that risk. But what did we get out of it? We got Kingsley Suatamtia, so you got a right tackle. Who else did we get? We got 10. Oh, we traded that one again, right? How did we do that one? Oh, never mind. We got 37. Oh, we traded 37 back. But we got Kingsley out of that. We got Gabriel Murphy out of that. And Cole Bishop out of that. Really? I don't know. Those are 3 positions we desperately need. Is you know, taking the risk of possibly losing Jayden Daniels worth, you know, filling in some major holes with some solid players? I think so. And again, you're going to have an idea. The only question would be the major concern about trading back to 5. And hey, you are giving them, and yeah, they are going to probably want to take that wide receiver, but who knows what Arizona's being enticed by some of these guys to give them several 1st-round draft picks just to move up, and they take Jayden Daniels, right? And then we are SOL. And these guys only move down to say, you know, here or so, and they pick up Ladd McConkey or Brian Thomas, and they're okay with that because they got a haul for the next few years in terms of their draft capital. A lot to go on, a lot to think about, guys. It's a risk, but at least we have the options. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Any of these, do you pick any of these guys? Would you trade back? Is it just automatic? Just get the quarterback? Are we thinking, do we go after Marvin Harrison Jr.? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.